All right. Yeah. So for this chapter, well, you see, this chapter is way more easy than the last one, I think, right? Because it's just like going back to GCSE for unemployment, right? Okay. So far, we have talked about the meaning of unemployment, and yeah, we always focus on the difficulties in measuring unemployment, and we talk about some underestimation, some overestimation, like here, when you talk about informal sectors. And we also took a look of uh, the disadvantages or the limitations when you are looking at the figure in average, because we can see so many differences when we try to look at the numbers in different population groups. So we did some discussion on regional disparities, gender, on ethnicity, and also age. Okay, right? Yeah, and then we move on to the consequences. Okay, we watched that video before we ended the lesson, and if you still remember the video, can you just quickly tell me some consequences, like personal consequences based on the video that you have watched? Okay, so if you are being unemployed, what kind of personal consequences that you are going to? Yeah, depression, right? Some mental sickness. Anything else? Anything besides having a mental breakdown? Right. Yeah, yeah. So mentally, okay, right? You may not have a good relationship with your family, your friends, or maybe you are gonna have divorce, right? Like that. Yeah, but well, because of the lack of income, you cannot sustain your daily living, right? You cannot afford food. Okay, financial problems. Okay, maybe you are owing the lenders money, yeah, things like that. Okay, so yes, right, there are so many consequences when it comes to personal consequences. What do you think is the biggest consequence? What kind of consequence do you think is will be the most dangerous when it comes to personal consequences? What could be the extreme case when you are being unemployed, and that or hunger? Well, yeah, that could be right, but anything more extreme when you're being unemployed and you are being so desperate and you don't know what to do. So yeah, you might commit into crime, or anything else that is so negative that you might get yourself into. Yeah, right. Maybe you might have some suicidal thoughts. Okay, right. So yeah, okay, right. So right here, I don't know if you have watched that video before. Yeah, that screaming beaver. Yeah, that's a good video to go watch it. Okay, so when you're being unemployed, you're just like that beaver. You just want to scream out, okay, and you just don't know what to do, right? Because there are so many negative impacts to you, right? Having a mental breakdown, having a low self-esteem. Okay, well, and also take a look at this, right? A low level of health. Okay, if you watch that video, if you still remember, I think they talk about cardiovascular disease, or something like that, right? I think that's possible. Or you're gonna get diabetes, right? Right, possibly you're gonna get diabetes, right? Because you just sit at home every day. Okay, you don't do anything. Okay, so yeah, health. Okay, the problem from health, yeah, that's possible. And yeah, relationship with friends and family. Okay, right, indebtedness, owing someone's money, right, a lot of money, and suicide. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that's personal consequences, just like what you have learned from GCSE. Okay, and of course, we are going to take a look at this in the bigger picture. So after personal consequences, we are going to look at the social consequences, and yeah, they are quite similar. Okay, yeah. So anything that is to the society, when you see higher unemployment, then you will see, right, more crimes, okay, right, in general. Okay, so here, you want to talk about it in general. So more crime or violence, okay, drug use, right, and also you see a lot of homeless people in the street, okay, right. So yeah. So they're all common sense. They're all common sense. All right. Well, just one tiny little trivia. See if you know this. So do you see this picture here? Okay. Yeah. Someone is taking drugs, right? Right. Well, drug use when you are being so depressed. Okay, you're trying to find yourself some escape. Okay, and alcohol and drugs and cigarettes, they are some very good options for escaping the problem. Well, even though they are quite expensive. So if they're so expensive, what do you think you are going to do to get them? Yeah, if the drugs are so expensive, but you still want to get them because they have some very good effects, right? Exactly. Okay. Yeah, you see here they're all connected. Okay, they are all connected because of all the personal consequences that you have above, and that's why they create social consequences. Okay, you are going to do some bad things. You are going to rob a bank. Okay, you are not going to rob a bank. You are going to rob a 7-Eleven or something. Okay, yeah, try to get some money so you can buy drugs, right? And yeah. Okay, so personal and social consequences, they are very connected. Okay, well, back to this trivia here. Okay, so when you take a look at this picture, okay, yeah, someone is taking drugs. Okay, let's see if you know this little tiny knowledge. Okay, usually when people take like cocaine, it takes three tools. Do you know what they are? What are the three tools that you need in order to take cocaine? A credit card, yes. Uh, okay, two more items for enjoying cocaine. Come on, credit card. Well, besides cocaine, okay, you need the tools. I'm not talking about the ingredient. Yeah, credit card, a mental pipe and needle. Well, that could be true, but usually when you don't have them, then a paper roll. Yeah, but what kind of paper roll or toilet paper, that is not going to work. Usually is a $1 bill, right? Yeah, Ian. Yeah, Ian has the right idea. And also the third very essential tool. Okay, okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, toilet paper could be the new currency. But think about the third essential tool that you need for enjoying cocaine. Well, you can actually find it in the picture here. What do you think? What do you think? Hey, no. Not your nose. I'm talking about tools. Yeah, no. The answer is in the picture. So that's the trivia. The table. What kind of table? Or what kind of container that contains the ingredient. Well, a normal one, well, not really a normal one. A clean table, not really. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you the answer. Usually, okay, it takes three tools, and so you have a credit card, yeah, credit card to separate, okay, the ingredient, yeah, in different size, and also, right, you need a dollar bill, so that's how you sniff that thing into your body. And yeah, the third one is, well, it might not be a table, but you need a mirror. Okay, you need a mirror. Do you know why you need a mirror? Oh no, look, that's why I told you it's a trivia. Okay, I'm trying to give you some more trivia. So do you know why they need a mirror? Okay, you don't need it. Well, you don't really need a table, but as long as you have a mirror, then you are good to go. But why? So is it science? Is about science? Okay. Well, no, not really, not really. Okay, it's about science. Okay, because when you think about mirror, there is no chip on the surface of the mirror. Okay, and if you're talking about a decent yeah plate of mirror, so if there's no chip on the surface, then when you are sniffing that the contents, right, there will be no waste. Okay, yeah, think about it. If you are trying to sniff them on the paper, okay, some of the dust will be stuck, okay, in the chips in the paper. So yeah, you are going to waste some of the expensive drugs over there. Okay, so that's why people they will use mirror. Okay, right, based on yeah, the very nice surface that it has. Okay, well anyway, yeah, that's the trivia that you need to know. Okay, yeah, but don't take drugs. Okay, here I'm not promoting any drug use, but just to let you know. Okay, all right, okay, right. So yeah. So personal consequences and social consequences. There you go. Okay, you know, yeah. So to the person and to the society, it's really bad to have unemployment. Of course, we are also going to talk about the economic consequences. Okay, economic consequences, right? And they are very straightforward. So here I have 4 questions for you. Okay, so take a look at this. Right? If unemployment rate increases, so what will happen to the real GDP? Come on, just quickly tell me the answer. Right? I don't want to go through this like in detail because I think you know of the decrease, right? Right? Can you briefly explain like why why GDP will decrease? Why is that? Okay, so when you yeah look here, I need to address this issue here. All right, when you have less labor force, okay, it doesn't always make the productivity decrease. Okay, productivity is always about the efficiency that you have as a resource or as as a factor, and that's why we should always pay attention to this, not to get ourselves confused. Okay, productivity is much more than that. Okay, when you have more labor force, it might not increase productivity. Okay, yeah, all right. But if you are able to increase or if you are able to improve the quality of your labor force, then your productivity will usually increase. Okay, right? All right. So that's the case. Yeah, yeah. But I get what you're trying to say, right? Yeah. When you are not able to use the factors for production, then there will be less production than what it is supposed to be in your society, and that's why there will be less real GDP. Okay, because it takes the factors to produce goods and services, right? But if you have a high unemployment rate, then you cannot utilize the resources that you have. Okay, so that is the problem, right? Okay, yeah, so take a look at this. Okay, yeah, it's less than the output produces less than the level the economy is capable of producing. Okay, we can actually explain this once again using a PPC. Okay, right, take a look at this, a PPC right here. Okay, so let's say this is your current position. So if there is a high unemployment rate, which point do you think we are going towards? Is it going to A, or is it going to B? Is it going to C, or is it going to D? Yeah, it's going to C. All right, yeah, because we know that any point inside this PPC is when we are not able to utilize all our resources efficiently. And based on the case here, we do have the human, we do have those people here in our society, but now they are being unemployed, so we are not able to use them. They're here, but we are just not able to use the resources. So in that case, we are being inefficient. Okay, so the output, the possible output is going to be inside the curve. All right. So once again, I'm pretty sure your teacher has told you this already in IGCSE. But okay, in the reality, is really difficult to get yourself along the PPC. Okay, right? Can you quickly tell me the reason why it is so difficult to to reach any point along the PPC? There's one very critical reason for that. Okay, well, we are going to talk about it in the future, but you know it already. Anyone wants to attempt this question? Yeah, like what is the reason why it is so difficult to reach this? Along this PPC is unknown. Why it is unknown? So if you have to reach along any point of this PPC, okay, it means you cannot have one single people being unemployed. Okay, you understand you understand me? If you have to reach this line at any point along this line here, you cannot have a single unemployed person in your society. Yeah, yeah, because when you have them, then you are not using the resources efficiently. Yeah, it's impossible. Okay, impossible. Exactly, Michelle. That is good. That is what I was looking for. Okay, natural unemployment is impossible. Okay, to make 100% use of your resources because there is always natural unemployment. Okay, and that's why in the reality it's almost impossible to get yourself along this PPC curve. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, so that's the point, right? That's the point. But when you know the unemployment rate is increasing, then the point is going to move. Okay, even inside of this curve here. Okay, all right. So that's one. That's one. All right. Yeah. So what about number two? What will happen to some workers and their livings? Quickly, give me the answer. So what will happen to the workers, to the unemployed workers and their livings? Huh? Number two. Yeah, they're being unemployed, but what could this affect their living? So if they're being unemployed, then what will happen? So how are you going to explain it? Uh, yeah, okay, yeah. So you can talk about the personal consequences. Okay, yeah. But here we want to focus on some of the points directly related to economic perspective. Yeah. So yeah, no income, right? No income, they spend less. Okay. So their standards of living will go down, right? Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you need to realize what they are asking. Okay, what the question is asking, and then you use the most effective answer for that question. And here is all about economic consequences. Okay, and that's why personal consequences, they are correct, but you need to pick the points where they are appropriate for economic consequences. So yeah, the chat box, all the answers there, they are okay. They are all valid. Okay, yep. So here, right? Yeah, unemployed and loss of income and possibly a lack of standards of living. Right there, you go. And what will happen to the government? Okay, so what will happen to the government? Okay, right. Increase in government burdens, as they have to give out more unemployment benefits. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so that's one. Can anyone give me more? So that's one. That's one very important point. Uh, yeah, opportunity cost. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, less tax revenue. That's good. Okay, wow, that is perfect. Okay, opportunity costs, because now you have to spend so much more money for the unemployed people, so you cannot spend the money on something else like education, healthcare, you name it. Okay, and less tax revenue, right? Because no one is having a job, so who is going to give you tax revenue? So if you don't have tax revenue, where is your government spending? Okay, right? So number three, very obvious answer. Okay, so there you go. Right, all the answers you have, they are all valid for this point. Okay, right? And also number four. So what do you think? So for the distribution of income, yeah, because is also about economics. Yeah, it's going to be worse, right? Okay, yeah, because you can see some people, they are being unemployed. Okay, so they become poorer. Okay, and for those people who still have a job, okay, they are going to maintain their income levels. So at the end, you can see the income gap is getting bigger and bigger, right? Yeah. Even when the people who are being employed, they don't have any pay rise. Okay, as long as there are more people being unemployed, then this gap will be getting bigger and bigger, right? So that's the case. Okay, so in summary, you can see when we talk about consequences of unemployment, we can always talk about it from the personal point of view, from the society point of view, and also, yeah, most importantly, we want to talk about it in the economic point of view right here. So three perspectives for your consequences of unemployment. Okay, all right, yep, common sense and right, as long as you know what you're doing, right? Yeah, as long as you have the knowledge from GCSE, they are simple. Okay, so I'm gonna move on. All right, let's move on to some recap. Yeah, so can you explain what potential output is? Come on, if you know the answer, just type it in. What is potential output? Yeah, you just did your test. Yeah, full employment. Okay. Right. There you go. Okay. Yeah. So when your real GDP, achieves full employment, right? There you go. What about the next one? So what is full employment then? What is it? Anyone? What is it? That is incorrect, Brian. So no unemployment excluding seasonal, only frictional, and blah 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 blah. Okay, so how can you give a name to those unemployments? Yeah, natural unemployment. Right. Yeah. So you guys have the right idea. But 0% unemployment rate for Ryan. Look, we just talk about it from the previous slide here. Think about the PPC. Okay. Think about the reality. 0%. Really? No, not really. Okay. So full employment. So usually this is how we are going to explain. Okay. Unemployment. It is equal to the natural rate of unemployment. So basically, the percentage of the natural unemployment. Okay, yeah, the percentage of natural unemployment, we call that natural rate of unemployment. Okay, right? Yep. And so when you look at this diagram here, what do we call them? What do we call this model? Okay, neoclassical or neoclassical or what else? Yeah, they're the same. Okay, new or new There's one more. There's one more. Yeah, monetarist or yeah, right, monetarism, right? Okay, so they're the same. They are the same. Okay, they are the same. So there you go. There you go. Right. So good. That's good. And where is the potential output in this diagram? Where is it? Yep. Okay, right here. Why? Okay. Yeah. So that's good. Okay. So that's the recap, right? But why should we do this recap? Because we are going to the next part, and we are going to use this diagram quite a lot. Okay, for the next part. Okay, right here. So after the consequences of unemployment, of course, now we have to identify some specific unemployment types. Okay, once again, yeah, and you have learned basically of them, but we are now going into detail, more detail. So yeah, so take a look at this. Okay, so for natural unemployment, okay, we actually have three of them: fractional, yeah, you have learned that; seasonal, you have learned that as well; and structural, it is also a natural unemployment. Okay, right? So the last one that is left, which is cyclical unemployment, we will call that not a natural unemployment. Okay, so this is the only one that is not natural. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So you can see here, right? We now know when we are reaching the potential output. Okay, the total amount of unemployment will be the total number coming from all these unemployments here. Okay, fractional, seasonal, and structural. Right, right. Okay, because yeah, full employment. That's what it means. Okay, you have you have a rate of unemployment that is equal to the total amount of natural unemployment. All right. Yep. So if that's the case, so I would like to ask you a few questions. Let's see if you are able to answer them. Okay. So if that's the case, if the real GDP is at potential output, where does the unemployment come from? Come on, I just said it. Well, you just have to repeat it once again. That's what we are going to do. Okay, so for the first one here, so if you are at potential output, okay, yeah, the total of natural unemployment. All right, yeah, so that's good. So those three unemployment, all right. But what about this? If the real GDP is in deflationary gap, where does the unemployment come from? That's all. And natural too, exactly. Okay, right? So go back here. If you are reaching this output here, then your total unemployment will be the sum of all these. Okay, if your GDP is lower than this, then this gap here. Well, let's say let's say here. Let's say right now your real GDP is here. Then this gap here should be the total of cyclical unemployment. But you cannot forget you still have the natural unemployment that you have to yeah, count as well. Okay, so here if you are in deflationary gap, you should see the total number of unemployment. They are from fractional, seasonal, structural, and also cyclical unemployment. Okay, it depends on how big that deflationary gap is. Okay, right? Yeah, is that clear? Clear? Cool. Okay. Yep. Right. So yeah. I think these three questions will make you understand more how we see unemployment in the diagram. Okay, so what about the very last question here? So if the real GDP is in inflationary gap, so this time is in inflationary gap. So what does it mean to the unemployment? What do you think? So right now, instead of in the deflationary gap, you are in the inflationary gap. So what do you think will happen to unemployment if you are somewhere beyond this point, somewhere, let's say here, right? If you're here, so what will happen? What do you think? What do you think will happen to the unemployment if you reach beyond this potential output right here? Any wait. So look. Yeah. Look. Think about this. Think about this. Yeah, you might be able to reach maximum employment. Yeah, but Kirsty, cyclical unemployment only happens, if you still remember the definition, only happens when there is a lack of AD. So if your output is beyond potential output, yeah, there shouldn't be a lack of AD. So there shouldn't be cyclical unemployment. There should be like zero cyclical unemployment when you reach potential output or beyond potential output. Okay. So at the end, yes, Ray and Talia, yeah. So your answers are correct. Okay, they are valid. So your natural unemployment will be decreased when you reached beyond potential output. Okay, you might be able to reach a maximum employment. Yeah, if the output is really way beyond the potential output. Okay, or there will be just a decrease of natural unemployment. Okay, so which means some of those people, the unemployed, who are in fractional unemployment, who are in seasonal unemployment, who are in structural unemployment, now more of them have jobs. Okay, so that's what it happens when you see inflationary gap. But we know that in new classical model, okay, yeah, either way, they are not going to sustain for a long time. So in the long run, you will go back to potential output. Okay, right, and that's why in the reality, you cannot always sustain yourself along the PPC curve. Okay, because based on the model we have learned, yeah, you will always go back. Okay, to the potential output, right? So right here, yeah, so you see the natural unemployment are reduced. Okay, yep, but yeah, for how many, we don't know that. It depends on the range of the inflationary gap. Okay, so in general, usually we would say, yeah, a portion of the natural unemployed, they will find a job when you reached inflationary gap. Okay, yeah, so the natural unemployment will be decreased. Okay, yeah, just yeah, you can treat them as a simple math right here. Okay, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. They are like, yeah, like math, but yeah, right, simple logic here. Okay, yeah. So is this clear? Are you okay with this? Cool. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna show you one more time. Okay. Once again, here is your diagram. All right, and when you are here at potential output, so take a look of the box, right? So there should be no cyclical unemployment. So there should be zero of it, okay? And your unemployment is just the sum of, all the natural unemployment, okay? All right? So if you are here, all right, yeah? But if you are at any point of your deflationary gap, okay? Because, now it is lack of AD, then you are going to see some extra unemployment. Okay, and that extra unemployment is definitely from cyclical unemployment because of that. All right, and once again, when you take a look of inflationary gap, right, any point beyond the potential output, okay, right, there should be zero cyclical unemployment at any point of inflationary gap. And at the same time, because now the output is beyond the potential output, and that's why the natural unemployment should be reduced at any point beyond potential output. Okay, right? So this is what we can see. Okay, so this is like a summary for you guys. All right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to each of the unemployment once again. Yeah, in case you forget the concepts. Right? Okay, so frictional unemployment. So this is the first one, of course. Quickly tell me, what is it? Frictional unemployment, what is it? So based on the things that you have learned last year, what is frictional unemployment? Mm. Okay, yeah, good, Ryan. Yeah, good, Ryan. So when people move from one job to another, okay, and that's why they become unemployed, right? Yeah, yes. So there are so many examples, like people who just graduate, okay. So yeah, in a transition of looking for job, right? Yeah, so that's good. That's good. So yeah, okay, right? Between jobs, okay, or when they are just graduated from university or schools, okay. So they have to look for jobs. So examples here. Can you give me some more examples besides people who have just graduated? Moving from one job to another. Any more examples? What's the reason for for people to jump from one job to another? Yeah, higher salary, right? Trying to look for a better working environment, etc., etc. Right? So there you go. Okay? Yeah, you're trying to find a better job. Okay? Or you're just waiting to start a new job. Right? Okay? Yep. And you can use all kinds of examples that you gave when you are explaining frictional unemployment. But once again, hey, you just have to always remember when you are writing the answers in your paper one, you always need examples. Okay, all right. So make sure you have some examples with you, okay, and you use them in the exam. All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So this is something that we always have to remember. Okay. Examples. 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 All right. Okay. Right. So yes, okay. So they are the people in fractional unemployment, right? And there's also one more reason why there is fractional unemployment. Okay. Yeah, that is the reason why people they have to spend time, okay, waiting for jobs. All right. It's because of the incomplete information between employers and workers. Okay. Yeah. We haven't talked about this last year, so that's why this is one extra bit for you. Okay. So when we talk about incomplete information between employers and workers, any guess? Like what is it talking about? Incomplete information. What does it mean? Any guess? No. Well, let's take a look of the example here. Okay. All right. So take a look at this. So yeah. So here you have two uh, persons. Okay, yeah. So one of them is the monkey. So that is the job seeker, and you have a chocolate ice cream right here. That's the employer. Okay, right. So when they are trying to look for each other, okay, yeah, how do they find each other? So that's the problem. Okay, yeah. So when the job seekers, they are trying to find employers, what information they are lacking, and that's the reason why they cannot find uh the potential employers. And what about the employers when they are looking for the perfect candidates? What information are they lacking, and so that they need to spend more time looking for the suitable candidates. So here, hey, so if you think about this, okay, yeah, so if you are that monkey, okay, you know somewhere out there, there is a chocolate ice cream waiting for you. Okay, you are 100% sure you are meant to be together. Okay, but you are just 20% sure that this chocolate ice cream really exists. Okay, and that's the reason why you have incomplete information, because you don't even know if that employer really exists. So you need to find that potential employer that that will hire you as a worker. Okay, so this is the information that you are lack of. Okay, and for the employers, okay, you know they don't even know which of you is the perfect candidate, so they have to spend time, okay, doing interviews, doing different assessments to see which one is the perfect candidate, and then I'm going to hire you as a worker. Okay, so here the imperfect competition, no, imperfect information that we are talking about. Okay, so they are the imperfect information. All right, yeah. So for the job seekers, okay, where do we find the jobs? Where are the vacancies? How do we get them? How do we get the information? It might take time for us to find the information. And for the employers, it might take some time to find the suitable candidates. Okay, right? Yeah, it's like a really bad love story. Okay, right? At the end, it takes time for them to get together. Okay, yeah. So yeah, all right. So that's incomplete information right here. Okay, all right. Yeah. So here, I think I'm going to give you a task. All right. So look, here's the task. Okay, so here's a task about fractional unemployment. Okay, right? So let's assume I am going to leave this school tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow I'm leaving this school. Okay, I'm not doing this anymore. All right? Yeah. This one here sucks. Okay? I'm leaving this. All right? And you just have to assume you are me. All right? You need to find another school which offers IB or IGCSE. Okay, because that's what I'm looking for if I'm doing that. So where can I find the vacancies? Okay, yeah. So this is the task. Okay, I want you to do a few things. So here, yeah, it is a research task to see how difficult is it for people who are in fractional unemployment to get themselves employed. Okay, so here you see the three tasks. So first of all, you are going to find the potential sources for your job hunting. Okay, yeah, because at least you need to know in what places where I can find the jobs that are suitable for me. Okay, yeah, so that's the first task. And then you are going to find the second one here. Okay, you are going to find the suitable vacancies. Okay, well, you know what my job is, and you know what kind of vacancies that I'm looking for. So yeah, you are going to spend some time and if see if it is how difficult it is for me to find a suitable vacancy after I know the the job hunting sources are. Okay, and at the end, for the third task, you are going to write a short reflection. Okay, yeah, just on the easiness of finding such information. Okay, right. So at the end, you are going to give yourself a very quick reflection and see. Okay, so if I'm being in the frictional unemployment, yeah, how does it feel, right? How difficult for me to find another job, and how long does it take to get the information? So here we are trying to study the imperfect information between uh, you know the job seekers and the employers. Well, for the employers, well, you cannot do this because you are not in that position. But at least we are able to do some research on this part. Okay, right here, yeah, on the monkey side. All right, yeah. So this is the task for you. All right, and yeah, and I'm going to set the deadline on Google Classroom. Okay, it should be yeah, next week on Tuesday. Okay, right. Okay, so do your research task and give me a very short reflection on this. Okay, yeah. So yeah, so that's the task for fractional unemployment. Okay, right. Okay, so that's one, right? And so if you are the government and there are some fractional unemployment, okay, so how do you reduce the fractional unemployment? If you are the government and the causes of fractional unemployment, so how do you reduce them? So how do you reduce them? So you see, if we go back to the causes, okay. So people, they when they are looking for better jobs, when they waiting to start a new job, or when their lack of information, provide jobs, provide the information. Okay, so that's good. Yep. Set up job centers. Yeah. Okay. Right. So they are very good. They are very good answers. Okay, so if you're the government, then yeah, you might do something like that. Okay, so yes, right. So you try to improve the job information by doing the things that you have provided in the chat box. Once again, you need those examples. Okay, so here the points, they are only giving you the thoughts, like what you should do as a government. At the end, in the exam, you have to provide specific examples, like setting up job centers, providing information in somewhere, right? Like setting up websites, okay, etc. Right, job hunting websites, and providing jobs, provision of some different jobs. Okay, and so here that's good to improve the second point here. Okay, and we also need to think about the first point right here, to reduce unemployment benefits. Okay, right? Because when you are being unemployed, okay, of course you are going to look for another job. Okay, but you need to realize we have unemployment benefits, right? If we have those unemployment benefits, we can expect, as normal human being, yeah, some people, they will be slacking off. Okay, so they will not be having incentive to look for a job, yeah, you know in the maximum effort. Okay, so they are going to look for job like very slowly. Okay, yeah, not very proactively. Okay, so that's why, as a government, we can also reduce unemployment benefit, so that we are pushing those people who are in the frictional unemployment to go find a job like very quickly. Okay, yeah, we are using another way to encourage them, okay, getting themselves employed. All right. Okay, so yes, so they are okay, so they are the methods that we can do as a government. And once again, you need the examples for the methods. But when you take a look of all those methods that we can do, what kinds of policies do you think are related to the methods that we have here? Supply side, right? Okay, yeah, not fiscal, not fiscal. Okay, because here you see, right, we are trying to provide more stuff to the society. Okay, so it's more on the supply side, right? Okay, yeah. So that's why all of them, they are actually from the supply side policies. The first one here, reduce unemployment benefits. Oh, well, Kirsty, well, you see here, reducing unemployment benefits. So this time is the opposite. Okay, we're trying to reduce the unemployment benefits to push those people to find more jobs, and there's actually a term for that. Okay, so yeah, we have learned that in IGCSE. Anyone still remember? So when we are doing something like this to the labor market, so what do we call it? But no, there's a name. There's a name. So something like labor market something. Labor market reform. Okay, yeah. Right, exactly. Okay, so that's labor market reform, and that is one of the supply side policies. Okay, right? Yeah. So there you go. All right. So here, if you are trying to reduce frictional unemployment, usually a government, okay, they will do a lot of supply side policies. Okay, they will do a lot of supply side policies in order to improve this situation. Okay, if they want to reduce the natural unemployment. Okay, right? And yeah, of course, we are going to talk about those policies in the later chapter. Okay, but right now, this is all you have to know. Okay, if you want to reduce this kind of unemployment, that's what you can do. We focus on supply side policies. Okay, yeah, and the points that you have to use, they are the same as the points that you use in GCSE. Okay, yeah, there's no different, right? So the later chapters that you are going to learn, most of them they're quite similar to what we have learned last year. Okay, yeah. So macro is a nice unit, right? Yeah. Okay, right. And you see here, it also works for seasonal unemployment as well. Okay, they also work for seasonal unemployment as well. Those methods. Okay, all right. So make sure you remember this. Okay, for frictional unemployment, we can do these methods. Okay, in the supply side policies to improve the situation, and also for seasonal unemployment, we can use supply side policies methods like this one or this one to help. Okay, all right. Okay, yeah, yeah. So there you go. All right. So that's frictional unemployment. Okay, so yeah, we still have a minute to go. Well, I guess I'm just going to stop here. All right. Yeah. So yeah, for this week you have one homework to finish, and that is this one. All right, this one. Try to find me a job. All right. Okay. Yeah, that's what you have to do. And yeah, that's all. All right. And yeah, on Thursday we are going to yeah carry on, okay, with another unemployment, seasonal, of course, right? Okay, and then we'll move on to structural and finally cyclical unemployment, and we'll finish this chapter. Okay, all right. So that's all for today, and yeah, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Okay, all right. That's all. Bye, guys. Bye. 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 Bye.